There he is. What's up, bud?
Not much. Wilson Morales, Black Film and TV. We're talking to Berto Colon on the dearly departed Lorenzo.
How are you?
Good, good. You know, the time has come, but
Yes.
you know, how long ago did you know this would be happening?
Yeah, so this is pretty early on. We sort of know, right before we embark on the season, you sign your contract, you sign your deal, and you're pretty much given what the deal is going to be right there. So right after season 2, once we were approved for season 3, we sort of knew. There wasn't anything written up. And when they came to the table and we sat down, we sort of knew it was going to be, this is the deal. This is your arc. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is the way it goes. But I knew right in the beginning. I knew.
The minute we saw last season when Lorenzo accidentally killed Zeke, we knew. I think Vegas already started the line. What episode does he go out in? The line has started in Vegas.
You know what's crazy, man? It's that I had hoped. There was always, I knew what the deal was. Obviously, when we started the season, I knew what was happening. But I had hoped that there was a chance for redemption. I had hoped that there was an opportunity. But, we know what this happens, and we know what happens in this universe. So yes, the days were numbered. How many days, I did not know, but the days were numbered.
The best thing you could have hoped for is going back to the table and having a say as to how you go out.
Yes, and and I have to say, I'm very grateful because this is. They told me right away from the beginning. It was like, man, it's almost like the feeling of this guy has to go, but we don't want to see him go. So that felt good, and I knew that everyone at Stars and the writers and the producers and every director really, really took their time in making sure that we just. He was going to go out in a bowl of flames, as they say. So in a hell of fire. And I'm grateful for that because they took their time and they really highlighted this character and they gave me the opportunity to sort of shine, even though he was going to go out. But really, it was a great opportunity for me.
We didn't know, throughout the episodes so far in season 3, the way Lorenzo and Kane were going back and forth with each other. We're like, okay, either Kane go out early because there's only so much Lorenzo could take. But then when you start seeing Mary's character put the pieces together, you're like, it's coming close to it. And when and then earlier this week we saw a clip of Kane and Lorenzo having a good moment. You're like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. It's a precursor. It's a little precursor.
It's a precursor, but you had a good run on the show.
Thank you.
What would you say has been? What did you learn as an actor, having worked with different directors and writers on the show as you played this character?
Well, for me, it was everything, the entire aspect of the preparation, from the preparation to getting to set, to learning to live in this world and understanding what the arc of what this character was to this whole dynamic of the show. And the responsibility is pretty big. It's pretty massive. And I learned so much from the technical side, again, from the from preparation, but just going out there and just really just fucking being balls out, like being on set, it's like you're given, you have this 100 people trying to make sure that you shine in these moments. And I think the biggest thing for me this year was just being unafraid and just going out and just seizing every moment possible. Like, if you have to do a take a certain way, every single take has to have high stakes, very, very, like, it's got to be taken very personally. And you just try to perform and to take as many chances as possible, and trust the process, rely on the people that are there, that they're going to do a good job. They're going to make sure that they get you, like, from, that they get you at the right angles, or that they really get that specific moment that's going to be the best, most logical choice that they go with to tell the story. And again, I just, everything about the interaction with not only the cast, but the directors, the writers, there was always something that I was grabbing every day to kind of, incorporate it into the performance a little bit better. And the more you do stuff, the better you get at it. You know, it's like you continue to do this work, you know, you become more efficient. You know, I took a lot of pride in whether I was going first or last, or whether I was, you know, I was doing my coverage or their coverage. I tried to always be the same, but I took a lot of pride in making sure that when it was my turn, that I was ready and that I gave the same thing back to my cast and my other, because you know, when you have to get these things done on a day-to-day basis, that's very important. So you gotta know your work. You have to stay on top of it. You got to bring as many colors to the work as you possibly can, and you just have to be ready to kind of roll with whatever happens. You know, that the process was. I'm forever changed.
Now that you're a spectator,
yeah,
I like to, you know, here's the thing. I kind of thought Kane got weaker a little bit, because when we first saw Kane come into the series, he was the guy. He was running the joint from the inside, and you know, Mary's character. Why am I forgetting her name all of a sudden? You know, Monet. Monet, you know, was running it from the outside, and then when he came home, he kind of had to defer to Monet and the kids as he got his, you know, groove back. You know, with Lorenzo now gone, who do you think should be the head of the family?
Well, you know, it's a funny question because I don't know. I mean, technically, Lorenzo's thing it's like, I think Drew would be the most cunning and controlled. The fear that Lorenzo always had with Kane is that it would be too explosive and then too crazy and a little bit too wild. And so I think for all intents and purposes, I mean, I think those two guys should run it together, kind of like BMF, you know. I think that a tandem team of Drew and Kane together would be best, but we'll see. We'll see. I love the art that Lavelle has, because it seems like, to me, he's growing, not necessarily darker, but he's getting more sinister. He's still living kind of like this lifestyle that, I mean, it's his own. Lorenzo's never had a judgment of what his preferences are, but you kind of key in on the idea of how he's becoming a little bit more cunning and a little bit more sinister, and still maintaining, you know, and he's closing deals. He's finding the way to get product and to sell and to make the connects that he needs to make, you know. So I do feel strongly that Drew would still be a good leader of the family.
No, Deanna. Not Deanna. Not Deanna.
No, I think like I said, Diana she should be the bookkeeper, you know. But Diana could infiltrate, you know, the other world, the legal world, and then maybe once we could infiltrate that world, then we can bring, you know, kind of like the same art than with the Bradens and what Braden and Tariq are doing in that world, with sort of incorporating the game into like a very legalized way to kind of run the game, you know. And I think Lorenzo envisions that for Diana. But now, I mean, Monet has a humongous secret now that she's going to have to, that's going to, I would assume, affect her going forward. So she's going to obviously not relinquish that role very easily. Kane is obviously the heir apparent. So yeah, it would be an interesting dynamic, you know. You know, there's this thing happening with the cousins and the rest of the family, Gordo and all those guys. So we'll see. But I think as far as leadership is concerned, I think it solely lies on either Drew or Kane's head.
What's next for you?
Oh, right now I just started. A little while ago, I started shooting the series The Penguin with Colin Farrell and Mr. Millardi. So
what's your role? What's your role in the show?
I'm basically playing one of the henchmen, but it's not a henchman. It's like the confidant to the Falcone family. So it's gonna be an interesting little arc. Super proud. They just dropped the trailer yesterday, so I'm excited for that. And I'm in the works to produce 2 other projects that I will definitely fill you in on at some point, but I want to wait until it's signed and done. But working, man, auditioning, you know, things have gotten a lot better now. Obviously, the quality of the work and the things, my team and I, the things that we're going in on are a lot. They're a lot bigger and greater in scale. So
Mhm.
Something good's coming.
You played a hub role, Lorenzo. Obviously, maybe we'll get a flashback scene of you somewhere. The thing about Powers, they always bring back characters one way or the other.
One way or the other. Yeah, no, I mean, I do enjoy that. I mean, the name of the show is Ghost. So I think I think that there's some definitely, I'm putting it out there to the universe, but I think that, he has some unfinished business, especially with his kids. And I think those kids would love to have a word with their dad, even if it's in the, some type of appearance or some type of dream sequence. There should be a little bit of haunting and a little bit of some exchange here or two, kind of clear the air about a few things with the kids.
Bert, I want to say congrats on the role that you played here. Congrats on your role on Penguin coming up. Obviously, we'll talk down the road for everything you got going on. You gave a good performance. Hey, you went out, but you went out good.
I appreciate it, Wilson. It means a lot. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you again soon, man.
All right, take care.
Take good care, Wilson. Bye.